Mount Holly is a township in Burlington County, New Jersey, United States. It is the county seat of Burlington County as well as an eastern suburb of Philadelphia. As of the 2010 United States Census, the township's population was 9,536, reflecting a decline of 1,192 from the 10,728 counted in the 2000 census, which had in turn increased by 89 from the 10,639 counted in the 1990 census. Mount Holly also gives its name to the National Weather Service's Weather Forecast Office for the Philadelphia metropolitan area, though the office is actually located in adjacent Westampton. What is now Mount Holly was originally formed as Northampton on November 6, 1688. Northampton was incorporated as one of New Jersey's first 104 townships by an act of the New Jersey legislature on February 21, 1798. Portions of the township were taken to form Little Egg Harbor Township, Washington Township, Pemberton Borough, Coxon Township, Pemberton Township, Westampton Township and Lumberton Township. The township was renamed Mount Holly as of November 6, 1931, based on the results of a referendum held 3 days earlier. The township was named for hills covered with holly trees. History: Colonial Era. The first European settlement in what is now Mount Holly began in 1677, when Walter Reeves acquired land from the Lenape Native Americans living in the area. He constructed a dam on Rancocas Creek to channel water through a raceway to power a grist mill and sawmill. Edward Gaskell and his sons hand-dug the mill race on their property between 1720 and 1723. After the mills were established, more settlers were attracted to the area and built houses and commercial buildings on High, Church, White, Mill, and Pine Streets, including the Shin Curtis Log House. By 1800, over 250 dwellings had been built. Today no mills remain on the raceway, which still flows in its original course from the Rancocas just above the dam. The raceway proved a way for herring to make their way above the dam and was the scene of an annual fish run in the spring which provided fresh herring for slating and eating. The former mill land has been preserved as the Mill Dam Park. It marks the importance of mills to the early settlements. Revolutionary War era. On December 17, 1776, Colonel Samuel Griffin of the Continental Army crossed the Delaware River with 600 men, mostly untrained men and boys, and with little equipment, and marched to Mount Holly, where he set up a few 3-pounder artillery pieces on Ironworks Hill. Hessian commanders von Bloch and Karl von Donop were told that there were 3,000 American troops at Mount Holly. By December 23, 1776, 2,000 Hessians were moved from Bordentown and positioned at the mountain Mount Holly, where they engaged in a 3-day-long artillery exchange, known as the Battle of Ironworks Hill or Battle of Mount Holly, with the Americans on Ironworks Hill. The Americans slipped away that night. After George Washington crossed the Delaware River on December 25, 1776, the fact that thousands of Hessian troops had been drawn to Mount Holly aided in the Continental Army's success in the Battle of Trenton the next day, a surprising American victory that helped turn the Army's fading morale after the disastrous defeat at the Battle of Fort Washington just weeks before and the ignominious retreat through New Jersey. 19th century. The 1793 state legislature approved the relocation of the Burlington County seat from Burlington City to Mount Holly, which was approved by voters in a 1796 referendum. Several important municipal buildings were constructed, including the courthouse in 1796 and the county prison built circa 1819. The Burlington County Prison was designed by Robert Mills, a nationally known architect who designed the Washington Monument. The town has numerous 18th and 19th century buildings, most of which are included in the Mount Holly Historic District. It is listed in the New Jersey and National Register of Historic Places. Commercial buildings were constructed primarily along High Street, In 1849, the Burlington and Mount Holly Railroad was established, connecting communities along the Delaware River to Philadelphia, the major city of the area. The railroad supported industrialization along its route. The Camden and Mount Holly Railroad constructed a station 20 years later near the intersection of Washington and King Streets. 20th century A trolley station was built in 1904 for the passengers making connections to Burlington City and Moorestown. New municipal buildings were constructed during the 20th century, including the Town Hall on Washington Street and the U.S. Post Office located across the street, both federally funded and constructed as Works Progress Administration projects under President Franklin D. Roosevelt during the Great Depression. In the late 1950s, Mount Holly began to have economic difficulties due to industrial restructuring and the loss of working-class jobs. In the post-World War II period, numerous blue-collar, family-wage jobs disappeared as the community's traditional employers, the mills and dye factories, were shut down. At first these job losses were offset in part by gains at the nearby military bases, Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base, especially during the Vietnam War. In 1970, the residential vacancy rate in Mount Holly was 4.3%. During this same period, 1970 to 1980, shopping malls proliferated in the suburban Philadelphia area, and retail business in Mount Holly suffered. Mount Holly received Urban Enterprise Zone status in 1995. It has provided tax incentives and other assistance programs to local businesses, including lowering the sales tax rate to 3.5%, half of the prevailing rate charges statewide. This has helped to revive the local small business base. Geography. Mount Holly had a total area of 2.852 square miles, including 2.806 square miles of land and 0.046 square miles of water. The township borders East Hampton Township, Hainesport Township, Lumberton Township, and West Hampton Township. Clermont is an unincorporated community located within Mount Holly Township. Demographics. Census 2010. At the 2010 United States Census, there were 9,536 people, 3,456 households, and 2,264 families residing in the township. The population density was 3,397.9 per square mile. There were 3,861 housing units at an average density of 1,375.8 per square mile. The racial makeup of the township was 65.57% white, 23.10% black or African American, 0.37% Native American, 1.47% Asian, 0.07% Pacific Islander, 4.29% from other races, and 5.13% from two or more races. Hispanics or Latinos of any race were 12.69% of the population. There were 3,456 households, of which 28.7% had children under the age of 18 living with them, 42.6% were married couples living together, 16.9% had a female householder with no husband present, and 34.5% were non-families. 27.4% of all households were made up of individuals, and 8.6% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.61 and the average family size was 3.19. In the township, 23.5% of the population were under the age of 18, 9.6% from 18 to 24, 28.7% from 25 to 44, 27.1% from 45 to 64, and 11.1% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 36.3 years. For every 100 females there were 102.8 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 100.1 males. The Census Bureau's 2006 to 2010 American Community Survey showed that median household income was $53,841 and the median family income was $68,500. Males had a median income of $51,945 versus $37,079 for females. The per capita income for the borough was $24,551. About 7.1% of families and 12.2% of the population were below the poverty line, including 21.4% of those under age 18 and 8.8% of those age 65 or over. Census 2000. As of the 2000 United States Census, there were 10,728 people, 3,903 households, and 2,583 families residing in the township. The population density was 3,750.8 people per square mile. There were 4,248 housing units at an average density of 1,485.2 per square mile. The racial makeup of the township was 68.68% white, 21.57% African American, 0.42% Native American, 1.37% Asian, 0.07% Pacific Islander, 4.77% from other races, and 3.12% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 8.78% of the population. There were 3,903 households, out of which 32.0% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 44.0% were married couples living together. 17.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 33.8% were non-families. 27.2% of all households were made up of individuals, and 10.0% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.64 and the average family size was 3.20. In the township, the age distribution of the population shows 26.3% under the age of 18, 9.4% from 18 to 24, 32.2% from 25 to 44, 19.6% from 45 to 64, and 12.4% who were 65 years of age or older. The median age was 35 years. For every 100 females there were 99.7 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 96.6 males. The median income for a household in the township was $43,284, and the median income for a family was $52,000. Males had a median income of $38,186 versus $27,425 for females. The per capita income for the township was $19,672. About 6.8% of families and 9.9% of the population were below the poverty line, including 11.4% of those under age 18 and 10.4% of those age 65 or over. Government. Local government. Mount Holly Township operates within the Faulkner Act under the council-manager form of municipal government, enacted by council-initiated action as of July 1, 1990. Members of the Township Council are elected at large in a partisan vote to serve 4-year terms of office on a staggered basis, with either 2 or 3 seats up for election in even-numbered years as part of the November general election. At a reorganization meeting after each election, the council selects a mayor and a deputy mayor from among its members. In November 2011, voters passed a referendum shifting from non-partisan municipal elections in May to partisan elections in November. As of 2015, update, members of the Mount Holly Township Council are Mayor Richard DiFalco, Deputy Mayor Jason Jones, Lou Brown, Betty Sykes and Jules Thiessen. On May 11, 2010, voters of the township elected Richard Dow, 3 and Dine Belton to Township Council, replacing incumbents Jules Thiessen and Brooke Tidswell, 3, who served on the council for 16 and 12 years, respectively. Dow received 557 votes, Belton 475, Christopher Sorhinder, Dow's running mate, 470, Thiessen, 377, and Tidswell, 353 votes. In July 2011, Township Council member Kimberly Kersey resigned. In the November 2011 general election, Richard DiFalco was selected to fill Kersey's vacancy. In the November 2011 general election, voters approved a public question moving the municipal election from May to November in subsequent elections. On November 6, 2012, voters of the township elected Lou Brown, Rich DiFalco and Jason Jones to 4-year terms on town council by a large margin. Their terms will begin January 1, 2013. In January 2014, former Mayor Richard Dow submitted his resignation as council member with 1 year remaining on his term of office. On March 31, 2014, 5 people filed petitions to appear on the primary ballot for 2 4-year terms for Township Council. Former Mayor and current Mount Holly Municipal Utilities Authority Commissioner Jules Thiessen, Bow member Tim Young, and current Mount Holly Board of Education member and Planning Board Chairman Brian Grant filed to run for the Democratic nominations. Wife of Mayor Rich DiFalco, Janet DiFalco, and Patricia Corley filed for the Republican nomination. In the November 2014 general election, Republican Elizabeth Sykes and Democrat Jules Thiessen were elected to 4-year terms on the Township Council. Thiessen's running mate Brian Grant withdrew from the election in September, as did both Republican candidates. Sykes replaced one of the Republican candidates and no replacement was named for Grant, making it an unopposed election. At the council's January 2015 reorganization, Jules Thiessen and Betty Sykes were sworn into office. Richard DiFalco was named mayor and Jason Jones deputy mayor, both holding the same positions the previous year. Federal, state and county representation. Mount Holly Township is located in the 3rd Congressional District and is part of New Jersey's 8th state legislative district. Prior to the 2011 reapportionment following the 2010 census, Mount Holly Township had been in the 7th state legislative district. New Jersey's 3rd Congressional District is represented by Tom MacArthur. New Jersey is represented in the United States Senate by Cory Booker and Bob Menendez. For the 2004-15 session, the 8th District of the New Jersey Legislature is represented in the State Senate by Dawn Marie Adigo and in the General Assembly by Christopher J. Brown and Maria Rodriguez Gregg. The Governor of New Jersey is Chris Christie. The Lieutenant Governor of New Jersey is Kim Wadenow. Burlington County is governed by a board of chosen freeholders, whose 5 members are elected at large in partisan elections to 3-year terms of office on a staggered basis, with either 1 or 2 seats coming up for election each year. The board chooses a director and deputy director from among its members at an annual reorganization meeting held in January. As of 2015, update, Burlington County's freeholders are Director Mary Ann O'Brien, Deputy Director Bruce Garganio, Amy Belgard, Joseph Donnelly and Joanne Schwartz. Constitutional officers are County Clerk Tim Tyler, Sheriff John E. Stanfield and Surrogate George T. Koch. Politics. As of March 23, 2011, there were a total of 5,251 registered voters in Mount Holly Township, of which 1,718 were registered as Democrats. 1,034 were registered as Republicans and 2,496 were registered as unaffiliated. There were 3 voters registered to other parties. Among the township's 2010 census population, 55.1% were registered to vote, including 72.0% of those ages 18 and over. In the 2012 presidential election, Democrat Barack Obama received 2,636 votes here, ahead of Republican Mitt Romney with 1,127 votes and other candidates with 53 votes. Among the 3,870 ballots cast by the township's 5,578 registered voters, for a turnout of 69.4%. In the 2008 presidential election, Democrat Barack Obama received 2,771 votes here, ahead of Republican John McCain with 1,272 votes and other candidates with 58 votes. Among the 4,125 ballots cast by the township's 5,473 registered voters, for a turnout of 75.4%. In the 2004 presidential election, Democrat John Kerry received 2,223 votes here, ahead of Republican George W. Bush with 1,612 votes and other candidates with 37 votes. Among the 3,887 ballots cast by the township's 5,301 registered voters, for a turnout of 73.3%. In the 2013 gubernatorial election, Republican Chris Christie received 1,251 votes here, ahead of Democrat Barbara Buono with 891 votes and other candidates with 21 votes. Among the 2,200 ballots cast by the township's 5,429 registered voters, yielding a 40.5% turnout. In the 2009 gubernatorial election, Democrat John Corzine received 1,126 ballots cast, ahead of Republican Chris Christie with 977 votes. Independent Chris Daggett with 118 votes and other candidates with 38 votes. Among the 2,269 ballots cast by the township's 5,524 registered voters, yielding a 41.1% turnout. Education. For pre-kindergarten through 8th grade, students attend the Mount Holly Township Public Schools. As of the 2011-12 school year, the district's 3 schools had an enrollment of 905 students and 87.8 classroom teachers, for a student-teacher ratio of 10.311. Schools in the district are John Brainerd School, Gertrude C. Folwell School and F. W. Holbein Middle School. For 9th through 12th grades, public school students attend the Rancocas Valley Regional High School, a comprehensive regional public high school based in Mount Holly that serves students from 5 communities, encompassing an area of 40 square miles. That also includes the communities of Easthampton Township, Haynesport Township, Lumberton Township and Westampton Township. Students from Mount Holly Township, and from all of Burlington County, are eligible to attend the Burlington County Institute of Technology, a county-wide public school district that serves the vocational and technical education needs of students at the high school and post-secondary level. At its campuses in Medford and Westampton Township. Transportation. Roads and highways. As of May 2010 update, the township had a total of 38.43 miles of roadways, of which 29.11 miles were maintained by the municipality, 8.45 miles by Burlington County and 0.87 miles by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. Mount Holly is accessible at Exit 5 of the New Jersey Turnpike via County Route 541. Public transportation. New Jersey Transit provides bus service to Philadelphia on routes 317 and 409, 417, 418, with local service available on the 413 route between Camden and Burlington.